Welcome. I'm Dr. David Howell, a faculty member in the HSC department, and I received summer funding so that I could write a book titled The Serenity Experiment. It's going to be a textbook used in my ethics class, HU 432. And basically, the premise of the book is if you manage your thought process, it's more likely you will conduct yourself in such a way that you can exercise your defined ethics. So, what I did during the summer was ride my bike to various parks around my house, and I sat still for as long as I possibly could. And then I wrote about it. So, what does this have to do with enacting one's personal ethical paradigm? Well, a ton, really, because my hypothesis at the beginning of the summer, based on my research, was that it, it has so much to do with mindset. If you manage your mindset, if you're aware of your thought process, a deep dive into metacognition, then it's much more likely that everything you do, every single action, uh, as it correlates with your ethics, with your values, will be enacted. So it takes a great deal of intentionality, and that's what I did this summer. Every day, well, most days, I would bike to these parks and I would give thought to my behavior in the rest of my life. So I plan on using this in my ethics class because we talk a lot about the correlation between thought and action when we read Nishida Kataro's An Inquiry into the Good. I love Nishida, the founding father of the Kyoto School, but it is original philosophy, and my students find it very difficult to access because it's original philosophy. So instead of using Nishida, or I'll use this new book, which will be published in March of 2021 through Blue Ear Books. Uh, Maybe I'll use it in conjunction with Nishida. I really believe in having students read original philosophy, but I cannot just use that one book. It's too much of an ask, I think, for undergraduates, even though they're typically seniors who take this class. So, and it was a great book to write. It was a great experience to have, to give great intent to being serene, to slowing one's thought process down, to being aware of one's surroundings, especially given that this summer was filled with social anxiety, the pandemic, the social unrest as a result of the death of George Floyd and others, the Black Lives Matter movements, the presidential election. A lot of crazy stuff went on this summer. Plus, two-thirds of the way through my thought experiment, my wife was in a bicycle accident, broke her collarbone, broke her ribs, spent time in the ER. But I was able to manage that tragic event and aid in her recovery, I think, in large part because I was in the right mental space. It didn't freak me out. And I was very grateful that I was in the right mental space. So I wrote all about that in this book too. Yeah. So here's hoping the students groove on this book. Here's hoping you check it out when it comes out in March. I'll have to send you all a link to the Blue River Books website once it's available. Thank you for your time.